The OnePlus 6. We have impressive specs, a new all-glass design and even day-to-day water resistance. A lot has changed from the last gen OnePlus 5T. One thing that has remained the same is the constant tussle with Honor devices for the spot of mid-range king. Earlier we had the Honor 8 Pro take on the OnePlus 5, the View 10 take on the 5T, and now we've got the Honor 10 pitted in a similar segment as the OnePlus 6. So how does it fare this time? Let's find out. But before we do, if this is your first time here or in case you just can't remember, my name's Ash, you're watching C4E Tech. Here's a card to our latest giveaway. I'll also be leaving a link to it in the description below. And while you're down there, click that bell icon because we have tech videos lined up for you almost every single day. So first up, design. Well, let's get this one out of the way quickly. Both sport a glass sandwich design with a metal frame holding the two together. The glass back on both of these devices curve towards the edges to provide better grip and fit snugly into the hand. But the Honor 10 with its smaller footprint and thinner size, 6.97mm compared to 7.75, makes it, in my opinion, the more ergonomic of the two. OnePlus though hits right back with day-to-day water resistance. Coming to the looks aspect of things, well, the OnePlus 6 is available in a variety of colors including mirror black, midnight black and silk white. There's also an Avengers Special Edition OnePlus 6 available. If you want to know more about that one, here's a card to our unboxing. Coming to the Honor 10, well, we have it in phantom blue as well as midnight black. And I gotta say, the way the light reflects off that glass back, especially on that phantom blue, it's pretty amazing. Personally, I love smaller form factors and the phantom blue back of the Honor 10 looks a little more alluring to me. The OnePlus 6 on the other hand has support from our sponsors Dbrand, so you can slap a skin on it like we've done. Dbrand offers a lot of customization with their skins. You get to choose from a wide array and even mix and match. I'll leave a link to Dbrand in the description below, do check them out. Now coming back to the comparison at hand, I've always said when design is concerned, unless there are any major flaws, I'll leave it to you guys. So there are no major flaws here with either phone. Which one of these two devices do you prefer? Here's a poll. Now while the looks is what might draw you in towards a phone, the display is what you'd be interacting with the most. So let's see how they fare. The OnePlus 6 has a 6.28-inch AMOLED panel, whereas the Honor 10 has a 5.84-inch IPS LCD panel. Both share the same Full HD Plus resolution, the 19:9 aspect ratio, and of course that notch up top. If you're someone who can't stand the notch, both these phones also come with software that allows you to hide it. Although it has to be said that OnePlus does a better job of hiding the notch thanks to the AMOLED display and its inky blacks. The Honor 10's display is good, but AMOLED gives the OnePlus 6 an edge here. Next, it's time to talk internals. The OnePlus 6 sports the top-of-the-line Snapdragon 825 chip, Qualcomm's flagship chip for this year, whereas the Honor 10 is powered by the Kirin 970. That's the same chip Huawei used on the View 10 last year, so it is lower down the pecking order when compared to the 845. That said, it's not something you'd notice, especially with day-to-day usage considering the type of performance it can bring with it. The OnePlus 6 has 6 and 8 GB RAM options along with 64, 128 and 256 GB storage options. The Honor 10 on the other hand comes only in one flavor in India, 6 GB of RAM, 128 GB storage. Both these devices lack any microSD expandability, so keep that in mind while picking either one up. So here, as far as internals go, I'm gonna have to go with the OnePlus 6. The newer 845 is the better chip. Again, note that you aren't gonna notice major differences in performance even if you went with the Kirin 970. That's at least just from performance. We'll get back to this in a bit. After performance, what do we have? Battery life. Despite being the larger phone, the OnePlus 6 sports a smaller capacity battery. We have a 3300 mAh battery here compared to 3400 mAh on the Honor 10. While the battery life on neither phone is impressive, the Honor 10 does have an edge, does about 10% better. Both should get you through a day of light to moderate usage on a single charge. If you do end up running out of charge, both have their own fast charging solutions and the OnePlus 6 has an advantage there. So on the battery front, I'd call these two evenly matched. Next, let's talk software. OnePlus runs on stockish Oxygen OS built on top of Android 8.1 Oreo. Though the interface is stockish, there are a few OnePlus specific features thrown in here like shelf, fingerprint and off-screen gestures, as well as customizable themes, but overall, Oxygen OS keeps it minimal and fast. MUI on the Honor 10 is no slouch either, but damn, the OnePlus 6 just feels that extra bit snappier when jumping around menus and opening up apps. Anyway, what MUI apparently lacks in speed, it more than makes up for with features. We have extensive voice control, motion control through gestures as well as actions, and a healthy smattering of AI features like Smart Rotate. This is one we found really useful, especially when scrolling through Reddit in the middle of the night. We also have AI-powered Face Unlock on the Honor 10, though to be fair, the OnePlus 6 also has an equally good Face Unlock. And then we have gesture-based navigation controls across both phones. The difference here is that while OnePlus relies on a series of swipes to go back home and switch apps, the Honor 10 uses the fingerprint sensor for it. So with regards to software, it again boils down to what you want: rapid, fast, stockish Oxygen OS, or the extra features that MUI brings to the table. What is your pick? Here's a poll. Now before we jump to the camera, let's take a look at the sundries. Remember the fingerprint sensor we were talking about on the Honor 10? Well, it's an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor that's placed beneath the display glass. An advantage with the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner is that it works even if the finger is wet. That said, at times it is not quite as fast or accurate as regular fingerprint sensors like the one found on the OnePlus 6. Another cool little feature that the Honor 10 has is the IR blaster up top. Not many phones have it these days, and it's something I think is quite useful, especially for those times when I can't find my air conditioner remote. The OnePlus 6, on the other hand, has the alert slider. So once again, we find these two quite evenly matched, maybe a little bit of an edge to the Honor 10. So let's now move on to the cameras. The Honor 10 calls the rear dual cameras as AI cameras, and with good reason too. There's a lot going on in the software side of things, from portrait lighting modes to scene detection, all powered by the NPU inside the Kirin 970. We'll get to that in a bit. First, let's talk about the camera hardware. To the back, the Honor 10 has a dual camera setup, a 16 megapixel f1.8 primary shooter along with a 24 megapixel secondary monochrome sensor. On the other hand, we have the OnePlus 6 with its 16 megapixel primary sensor, which has OIS that's paired with the 20 megapixel secondary sensor. Both have f1.7 aperture lenses. Side by side, you can see the differences in the pictures taken with these two phones. The pictures shot with the Honor 10 are warmer and a little more saturated. The OnePlus 6's pictures retain a bit of a more natural color. That's just different processing mechanics, and both have their own audience. The main difference here is with the detail. While both pictures look sharp, zooming in you can see that the Honor 10 has retained a little bit more of the texture. Here, let's see that again. The Honor 10 had an edge with dynamic range, but it's a dedicated mode that needs to be triggered here, unlike Auto HDR on the OnePlus 6. Under low light, the situation is reversed, as we see that although pictures from the Honor 10 came out brighter, they lacked in detail. And this gets more pronounced as we move away from the light source. Check the exposure timings and voila, we have our answer. This is where having OIS wins out, as even the best AI cannot always outperform hardware-based image stabilization. Anyway, AI or no AI, the portrait mode shots are equally good across both phones. The Honor 10 also offers a portrait lighting option. Moving over to the selfie shooters, we have a 24 megapixel f2.0 shooter on the Honor 10, while the OnePlus 6 sports the same 16 megapixel snapper that we've seen before on the 5T. They perform almost equally well, with the OnePlus 6 having a minor edge. The Honor 10 has support for portrait selfies, while the OnePlus 6 doesn't have the feature as of now. OnePlus have promised to add it soon via an OTA. Next, let's get to videos. The Snapdragon 845 on the OnePlus 6 means that this phone can do 4K at 60 FPS, while the Honor 10 is limited to just 4K at 30 FPS. As far as quality goes, OnePlus uses EIS as well as OIS for video capture, while the lack of stabilization on the Honor 10 means the video feels jittery. Detail levels though look great on both the devices. On the slow motion front, the Honor 10 is capped to 120 FPS at both Full HD and 720p. The OnePlus 6 on the other hand can do 240 FPS at Full HD and an impressive 480 FPS for a minute at 720p. So on the camera front, the OnePlus 6 definitely has an advantage, especially with regards to videos, slow-mo, selfies, and low-light photography, with the Honor 10 holding a slight edge with still shot under good lighting conditions. So now let's get to my conclusion. As we've seen so far, both these phones are very evenly matched, with the OnePlus 6 holding an edge almost throughout this comparison. But the OnePlus 6 also happens to be the higher priced phone. It starts at 35,000 rupees for the 664 compared to 33,000 rupees for the Honor 10. Now, if you wanted 128 gigs of storage, the price difference between the two becomes 7,000 rupees. The OnePlus 6 is at 40. The Honor 10 is at 33. The extra 2 gigs of RAM doesn't really make a difference. 6 to 8 is not a major difference at all. So if 64 gigs of storage is enough for you, I'm going to recommend the OnePlus 6. It's definitely the better option. Yes, you're paying 2,000 rupees more, but it is better value for your money. But if you do want more storage, if you want 128 gigs of storage, then the Honor 10 is the way to go. It's almost as good as the OnePlus 6 and happens to be much cheaper. So that's my conclusion. What's yours? Let us know in the comments below. And if you know someone who's looking to buy a new phone in this 35k price segment, then share this video with them. And well, if you hated this video, you know what to do. But if you did like it, hit that thumbs up button, get subscribed, and click on that bell icon to become part of our notification squad. Enough, I must bid you adieu. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye bye.